So hello, today is Tuesday, February 24th, and we do have a birthday. Today is Diane Eziel, E-Z-I-E-L. Diane's been a long time subscriber. She's been with me, I think, since the beginning. And I know I'm saying your name wrong, Diane, but you still get a song. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Diane, happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great birthday today. You noticed on my first little quote, I was on Facebook this morning when I was laying in bed like a big old lug, reading things. And Kim Bedgood always puts something up really inspirational every day. I just love it. And I saw that quote and I thought, I'm going to live by that quote because it tells you to that your future depends on the habits. I had to remind myself, I wrote it down. I knew I was going to live by it all day, but they didn't say I was going to remember what it exactly said. But what it basically said, oh, Judge Judy doesn't like that word basically. I love Judge Judy. I watch it all the time. She annoys me because she's very rude. She's so rude. It just drives me crazy how rude she is. Like, she demands respect, but she shows no respect for the people that are there. Yet I still watch her. I don't know why. I just don't. But anyway, as Kim had said in her quote this morning, that your future depends on the habit you develop. So you can develop good habits or bad habits. And I'll admit that the last couple months I've had some really bad habits. And I'm trying to overcome them. I think I'm doing pretty good. Today is 1 week since I got my first shot for my vaccine. And tomorrow is the 1 week anniversary of staying completely on track on my plan. Once again, I can do it in Lent. Why can't I do it the rest of the year? Why can't I have the same devotion? I can't understand that. I just can't. But when I went out to get the mail from the mailbox, I was kind of looking at the sidewalks, and there's this young couple that lives around the block from me that I always saw. They have two little boys, and they drive a motorized car. And it's really kind of cute because they drive the whole, well, he walks and they ride their motorized car the whole subdivision, which is a mile. But they have like a little horn on it, and he'll every once in a while, if he sees me, if he's coming up behind me, he'll honk his horn, beep beep. Like I shouldn't be on the sidewalk. He's in a car. But anyway, they're both really cute. They really are. And it's just a young couple. The father is probably 23, 24, maybe 25. I mean, he's really a young guy. But anyway, I was walking to the mailbox and to get my mail, and he says, I haven't seen you out walking. And I go, well, yeah, because it's a little dangerous. And he says, no, I can understand that. He said, but I said, well, how are the sidewalks now? And he says, all the way around the whole subdivision, they're completely clear. He says, the only thing is there's a lot of puddles. He said, so you might get wet. But he says, I miss seeing you, because we used to see him every day, because he walks with his kids. His wife is a runner, and so she'll put them in one of those running buggies or whatever, like a stroller, and then she'll run with them. And sometimes she'll just walk with him and he'll run, and they're a very active family, and they do a lot together. But anyway, that was kind of good news. I was thinking that was kind of nice. Maybe by next week I can start walking again. Because that's a habit that I love. I absolutely love it. It gets me out of bed in the morning. It gets my day started. It gets me right on track. I get to see people again. I miss seeing people. I really do. I mean, even when I walked when I was a little bit younger, because even when the weather was bad like 3 or 4 years ago, I would walk. But, everybody says every year makes a difference, and I'm thinking, what difference? Oh, it does. It does make a difference. And I just don't... I'm just so fortunate, remember I told you last week when I fell off the ladder, I am just so fortunate I didn't break my hip, But I think I have pretty strong bones, obviously, so that probably saved me, but I thought, I don't need to be doing that when I'm out walking around. But anyway, so I think the habit that I want to get back into is walking again, and I really think that's going to help me out. But anyway, when I was looking at Facebook, it was bringing me back so many memories. I remember like they had the one I reposted was... This was our carry-out when we were younger, which was you put down the back of the tailgate on the station wagon, and you'd have sandwiches. We used to go all the time places, and my mother always packed a lunch. If we went on a trip or something, one year was our crappiest vacation ever. We went around and visited all of our relatives because they lived within the city, but they lived, like farther apart. And so we would go and we'd visit like my Aunt Ag for maybe half an hour, and then we'd drive over to my Aunt Marge's house and visit with her for a half an hour. I think it was just to get out of the house and make us look like we were doing something. But my mother always packed a lunch, and we always had our lunch. So, and I don't ever remember taking, we used to go up to the cottage, which was in Lexington, which was only back then it used to take 2.5 hours because they didn't have the expressways built. But we never stopped to eat. We didn't eat till we got there. But that kind of brought back a memory. And then there was another memory that I saw that kind of reminded me of when I was a kid. Well, I know just waiting for the phone, because you didn't have a party. Well, we didn't have a call waiting or anything like that. If somebody tried to call you, it just kept being busy, 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 busy. And there was the one phone that was in the kitchen, and with 6 kids all wanting to talk on the phone, it was kind of hard, but you always got your turn in. And then finally my mother put a phone in the basement. It was like we were in heaven. We could go down there and actually have some privacy. We could get on the phone and have some privacy. But then my brothers and my sisters used to come down the stairs and listen to me when I was talking to Jim. So I didn't have too much privacy back then. But there was another one I saw that I really liked. I'm trying to think of which one it was. It just brought back, I can't even remember it. I should have wrote it down. Great memories, Don't ask me for I only saw it an hour ago. But, ask me if I remember something when I was a kid. We used to pile into the station wagon. When we went to, one year, my mother had the 6 kids, and my Aunt Ag had 10, but only 7 of them went with us. And we went to a place called Island Lake for the day. And so there was my mother and my aunt in the front seat, and then there was 13 of us packed in the back seat of the station wagon. No seatbelts back then, and you'd flip the seats down and we'd just be sitting like this. And a lot of times you'd sit in we had in our station wagon the seats in the back that you could face the people seeing the people coming at you, so you could see when you were going to get hit, I guess. But I remember we were driving through the riots of 67 in Detroit, and there was 2 ways to get home. And the one way, if my mother would have went straight, we would have missed the riots. We would have just drove home, but she decided to take a shortcut, and we drove right through the riots. And we were sitting there, oh, look at that building's on fire, oh, look at that building's on fire. And my mother knew something was going on. We didn't know. I should have known. I was 17. Jim was with us too, and he slept through the whole thing. He's all curled up sound asleep, and he slept through the whole thing. But I just didn't realize what was going on. But anyway, it was just such a different time. It was just, I had so much fun growing up. I really did. And I really wasn't overly concerned about what I ate or how I ate. And I was a thin child. I was thin most of my life. Well, I shouldn't say most of my life. I was thin up until I was probably 25. I gained 75 pounds when I was pregnant with Danny. And I never really lost it. I went through periods where I went and weighed myself and went on a diet and then tried to do a little bit better, and then I didn't. But so I've had a slowing up journey. I always said that, once I get to 200 pounds, that's going to be the deal breaker. You know what? When I get to 210, I'm not going to get into those teens. All right, I set my limit at 220. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to go any higher than that. 235, what's the heck? Might as well give up now. Oh my gosh, I'm 304.2. Let's stop this train rolling right now. And that's when I got serious. And it took me a long time to get really, really serious. And through that whole time, I really wasn't worrying about the number on the scale. And part of the reason I didn't is because I thought, I'm going to be big, I'm going to be old, I'm going to be fat. What's the difference? But now I base too much on the scale, and I think that, not that I should have the same mentality that I had back then when I wasn't worried about the number, but I have to use it as a somewhat guide to where I'm going, that I don't go back up to how high I was before. But I shouldn't be judging myself on how well I'm feeling and how well I'm doing by how fast or how slow it's going down. I think the only time I should really be concerned about that number on that scale is when it starts going up again. Then definitely you need to be concerned about the number going up on the scale. But when it's staying still or going down, well, obviously going down you're going to be happy. But I mean, if it's staying kind of still and you're not really moving and you're doing everything right, it's so easy to get discouraged and say, why? What the heck? Like I said, I can have a really bad week and eat really crazy and then get on the scale and then maybe stay the same or gain just a little bit of weight. And then I get kind of cocky and think, I can do what I want. And then the next week, really, go crazy and then gain a lot of weight. And then other times, I can really put my mind to it, really be dedicated, really watch everything I've eaten, track everything I've done, and then get on the scale and not lose any weight. And then I'll think, how can that be? Last week I ate whatever I wanted and I lost weight, and this week I ate exactly like I'm supposed to, and I know I got that all confused now that I'm thinking about it. I sometimes my mouth speaks before my mind gets time for it to come through here. But the point is, this is the point. The point is, don't be overly concerned with the number if it's staying the same or not moving fast enough. And if you go crazy and you don't gain any weight, don't take that as a sign that you can keep eating that way, because that's not the sign you're supposed to be taking. And if you eat really, really well and you don't lose any weight, don't take that as a sign either. Think of it as like, you know what, I'm making up for the time I was really bad and I had a loss or I didn't gain as much as I should have. And just know that your body's going to catch up. It will. It definitely will. And I think that if you don't concern yourself so much as the number and more on how you're feeling, how you're sleeping, how you're moving, how your clothes are fitting, because I always wondered if there was no such thing as a scale, would everybody be really, really fat, or would they be really, really thin, or would they just be, how they are? I don't know. The same with if there was never a clock. Would you know what time it is to eat breakfast? Would you just automatically say? I know when you wake up in the morning, most people, I'm not most people, but most people wake up in the morning and they're hungry and they eat breakfast right away. But then a lot of times I think a lot of people don't eat their lunch or dinner only because they're looking at the clock and they go, oh my gosh, it's 12 o'clock, I should be eating my lunch. And never mind that their body didn't tell them it was time to eat their lunch, the clock told them it was time to eat their lunch. And I think that if we were growing up in a society, which we do need clocks, I know that. Talking to somebody that owns 37 clocks in her house, we need clocks. I understand that completely. But we have to base some of our life due to a clock. But we should listen to our body clock that tells us, okay, it's time to eat, it's time to sleep, it's time to go to bed, it's time to go for a walk. Our body talks to us if we just listen. And I think that for me, I haven't been listening to my body as much as I should have been. And so I'm concentrating on that a little bit more within the next 6 or 7 weeks, trying to just really listen to my body. I still am eating my 3 meals, which is still difficult for me, I will admit. It's still very difficult for me. And who would have thought that that would be difficult? Most people, just about 99% of the population probably knows that you're supposed to eat 3 meals a day. I think a lot of my reasons is because my portion sizes are so huge and my eyes are always bigger than my stomach, but I'm trying to work on that. But for breakfast I had a hard-boiled egg, a bowl of oatmeal, and a slice of toast with half a teaspoon of butter on it. So my breakfast came to 12 points. This is the problem I'm having with the green plan. I do like the green plan, but the points scare me because I thought 12 points for that little bit of, which to somebody else is probably not a little bit of food, but to me that was a little bit of food, was I had a half a cup of dry oatmeal with a quarter cup of milk and a hard-boiled egg, and then just one slice of toast with the butter is 12 points. Now, if you've watched me when I was on the blue plan, which just about everything is free, I would have like a 10 or 11 point breakfast anyhow. So I don't know why this is overly concerning me, but it really does kind of over concern me. For lunch, I had 2 pretzel rods, a sugar-free chocolate pudding and a Granny Smith apple with just a big glass of water. And so that was 5 points for my lunch. And then for dinner, I just made one of my vegetable platters, which I know my vegetable platters looks like something I could serve at a party because I put so much on it. But I had an ounce of turkey, deli turkey, for 1 point. I had an ounce of Swiss cheese for 4 points. I had 2 tablespoons of my spinach artichoke dip for 3 points. And then I had a granola bar for dessert for 3 points. And I have a Quaker chocolate chunk. I'd show you the box, but I get the big box at BJ's and I just pour it into a jar, all of the different flavors. But the chocolate chunk are 3 points, but the other ones are all 4. I have no idea why the chocolate chunk ones are 3 points. But so my dinner was 11 points. So I ended up the day with 28 points. I'm trying to stay under the 30. I'm doing pretty good at doing that, but I think I need to go a little bit lower than that. But once again, I don't want to get my blood sugar too low, and I'm trying to be healthy, and I have to tell you, and I am trying to be healthy, I know that, but I'm not missing the sweets as much as I thought I would. I know in the back of my mind, I know I still have another sleeve of Girl Scout cookies in the freezer out in the garage, but they're really not tempting me. I think it's just something I know that I'm not going to eat the whole sleeve on Easter Sunday, but it gives me something to look forward to. It's just a couple Girl Scout cookies. Because I'm not going to go my whole life not eating sweets. I know that for a fact, but at least for the next 6 or 7 weeks. So, okay, that's going to do it for tonight. I know I told you I was going to show you how my puzzle's coming along, but I forgot to film it. Jim's watching a war movie right now, and we're here. It's like we're in the middle of the battle. The TV's so loud. I'm surprised. I don't know, maybe when I edit you'll hear it. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, he's watching some kind of war movie, and so I can't film unless I put it on mute, and I like to talk. I don't know if you've ever figured that out about me, but I do like to talk. So, anyway, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, and share it if you think somebody might like to see it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. As always, be safe.